Art gallery in New York and one in L.A. preparing to sell art pieces by the president's son, Hunter Biden. Those art pieces, by the way, could sell for as much as $500,000. Already some lawmakers in the House Oversight and Reform Committee have questioned who's buying those pieces, and it's opened some debate if money is being funneled to Hunter as a window of influence in the Biden administration. Joining us now to discuss further, Peter Schweizer, president of the Government Accountability Institute. Peter, good morning.
Good morning, Jan. Great to be with you.
Well, thanks for joining us. You know, those familiar with high-dollar art pieces know that the art world is known for its secrecy and lack of transparency. And back in August, the New York Times did reveal the Biden administration developed ethics guidelines to keep the identity of buyers private from artists and the administration. You have called this, quote, genius-level corruption. So talk us through this. What details do you know about these upcoming art shows, and what concerns you most?
What concerns me, Jan, is the lack of transparency. I mean, their ethics solution is to say we're going to hide this information from everyone, including the public, including government ethics, oversight. And that's just not going to work. Here's what we know. We know that the art world itself is rife with money laundering and corruption. The U.S. Senate issued a report to that effect in 2019. We know, number two, that Hunter Biden has a history in China and Ukraine and elsewhere in seeking out foreign deals with foreign oligarchs that want to influence his father. He's admitted that he got a lot of those deals simply because his last name was Biden. So now he's going into the art world. We know that the man that is organizing these art showings, that's displaying and selling his art, has said explicitly he wants to expand into China and other foreign markets. And the fact of the matter is that Hunter Biden's artwork, according to the New York Times, is being displayed in the White House. So you've got this massive conflicts existing at all kinds of levels. You've got a history of a conflict of interest, and we need to have transparency and openness here. Everybody has a right to earn a living, but when you're talking about the first family or a powerful politician's family, we need to know who's paying them and why.
Hey, Peter, so what would make this okay? Would it be better if this was made public? Because then you could say this person got no favors from the White House. This company has never benefited from any deal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it would be open and clear transparency. There's no legal requirement for that. I think that's part of the problem. But I think it would assuage a lot of concerns if we knew who was paying $500,000 for artwork. And I'm certainly not an art critic, but art critics at the Washington Post and elsewhere have said, look, you know, he's a pretty good artist, but this is not a $500,000 a piece artwork. So we need to just have transparency so we know who's paying him, what they're paying for, and what the interests of those buyers might have in terms of trying to influence the White House or the federal government.
In late July, Walter Schaub, former director of the U.S. Office of Government Ethics, tweeted this: the secrecy agreement was designed to keep one group of people from knowing who buys Hunter Biden's art, the public. There's no mechanism for monitoring, no mechanism for notifying the public if confidentiality is broken, no mechanism for tracking if buyers get access to the government. Peter, how is this all gonna play out? Don't you think it's gonna be scrutinized no matter what?
I think it's going to be scrutinized, but the problem, Jan, is there's really no way of following the money. I mean, the reason I call this kind of genius level corruption is when Hunter Biden went overseas to Ukraine and elsewhere and joined the board of directors of foreign companies, they actually have to disclose who's on the board of directors, so you know what the relationship was that Hunter Biden had with these foreign entities. In the case of an art transaction, you have absolutely no idea. It could be the king of Saudi Arabia. It could be President Xi of China, for we would know, that's sending $500,000 to Hunter Biden. So Walter Schaub is correct. We need to have transparency. Unfortunately, I think the White House is going to stonewall because, of course, the people calling for this primarily are Republicans, and they do not have a majority on Capitol Hill.
And also, too, Hunter Biden has admitted that he is under investigation for his tax affairs, adding that he is confident he did, in fact, act legally and appropriately. I know you guys have been following this investigation as well. Do you have any updates on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We've been going through the Hunter Biden emails. We have independently verified their accuracy based on other publicly available information that we know is true. And the fact of the matter is there's a lot of money flowing to a lot of different LLCs, limited liability companies. There's correspondence in there where tax attorneys or advisors are telling him, did you pay taxes on this money? So in short, it's a mess. I'm not a tax expert. I don't know what his exact status is, but the ties that he had overseas and continues to have in China and other countries are very troubling. And that's also an area that I think that deserves greater scrutiny.
Yeah, and there was one thing your office was looking at that you say could become a big issue later, and that is this, that you cannot subsidize a family member in politics by paying their bills. And you allege this was happening with Hunter. How so?
Yeah, I mean, the emails make clear that Hunter Biden was paying, in fact, Vice President Joe Biden's bills, personal bills, phone bills, renovations being done on his home in Delaware. This is all in the emails. And here's the thing. If you are a politician, a family member can give you a Christmas present, they can give you a birthday present, they can do something nice for you, but they have to pay for it personally. What was happening in this case is that Hunter Biden's business, his firm, was actually subsidizing Joe Biden's lifestyle as vice president. And that is not allowed. That is illegal. And I think there's going to be more to report on this. What we've captured so far is in the high tens of thousands of dollars in bills that were being paid by this time. And that is simply not allowed.
Peter Schweizer, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jan.